Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today we're going to be doing an updated version of the Sky Striker deck profile. So a lot of people have different reactions to when they hear the word Sky Striker. Some people tremble in fear, run to their bed and cry under the pillow. Some people get really excited. Some people get really angry. I get excited. I really like Sky Strikers a lot. First time I was ever introduced to the deck was Steve, and he whooped my butt with it. But it's a really cool deck. It doesn't have many monsters in the main deck at all, so you have a lot of flexibility with hand traps and stuff, which is really cool. And it really revolves around spells. Very spell heavy oriented deck and links. It's a really fun deck, and it's not terribly expensive anymore, which is really cool as well. I did get a lot of hits on the ban list because it needed it for the most part, but a lot of stuff starting to get a little more flexible coming to 2, stuff like that. So yeah, so it's a really fun deck to play. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, I recommend you do so. But before we get in this real quick, if you haven't already done so, now's a great time to subscribe. Hit the bell so you become part of the notification team. Give this video a thumbs up. Let's jump right on into this updated Sky Striker deck profile. So to kick us off, we're playing triple Sky Striker Ace Ray. So this card is just awesome. It looks really great with this Mega 10 reprint as well. So what it does is a quick effect. You contribute this card, special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. While this card is in your graveyard, if a face-up Sky Striker Ace Link monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon this card. You'll use each effect of Sky Striker Ace Ray once per turn. So the fact that it can, it has a quick effect where you tribute it and link during your opponent's turn is awesome, but also the fact that it can bring itself back from the graveyard is just really cool, and that really helps out a ton. Next up, playing double Sky Striker Ace Rose. Now this one, I don't max this out, and I don't really know many people that do. Rose is awesome because if a Sky Striker Ace monster or monsters is normal or special summoned at all, so if it hits the field literally at all, except another copy of this card and then except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of your card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, then you can negate the effects of one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. So really cool, the fact that it's super easy to get out, and then it's really easy to bring this thing back from the graveyard, and then you're able to negate the effects of one of your opponent's monsters. That's just freaking great. I really like that card, that effect a lot, and the fact that the negate doesn't target at all, that's really helpful. So like I said, in the intro, the fact that this deck only has 5 main deck boss monsters, you have a lot of flexibility with hand traps. So for that reason, my hand trap package of choice is I'm playing triple Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill. Now you might be scratching your head a little bit about this one, but I really like this card. A lot of people forget about this card. I think it's pretty underrated. This card is really good. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters face up except during the damage step, you can discard this card, then target one of those face up monsters, negate its effects until the end of this turn, and then also if that face up monster leaves the field this turn, the controller takes damage equal to its original attack. You'll use this effect of Ghost Mourner and Moonlight Chill once per turn. So I really like this card. Just being able to negate your opponent's monster's effect for the rest of this turn, and then they have a choice if they're in the middle of a link climb combo or something like that, and you hit it the right time where it's got a pretty decent amount of tap power, they're going to be hesitant to link that off or go into something else because they're going to take that damage. And if you hit it the right time, I mean that's kind of critical. Again, you don't want to run this. That's totally fine, but I actually use this a lot in this deck, and I really like it. Of course, playing triple Ash. I don't really know what to say about that. It's Ash, it's probably the most versatile hand trap in the entire game. Also running triple Drill and Lock. You knew that was happening. If Noble's got a hand trap package, 9 out of 10 times he's running a Drill and Lock. This one says, hey, nah, you ain't getting that card. This one says, hey, you can get that card, but that's the last one you're going to get this turn. Then also running double Nibiru as well as one Pankratops. This is my, wow, that looks really good. This is my hand trap package of choice. Super flexible. Absolutely do what you want to do, what works best for you. But I've just really enjoyed this hand trap package. It's a lot of fun. So to kick this off, I'm playing triple Widow Anchor. Widow Anchor is really cool because it has a lot of these cards, a lot of these spells in this deck have secondary effects if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard. So if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one face-up effect monster on the field, negate that face-up monster's effect to the end of this turn. Then, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, take control of that monster until the end phase. That's really cool because there's no restrictions on what you can do with that monster. In fact, it's a quick play spell as well. Man, it just helps out a ton. I'm also playing triple Shark Cannon. I really like Shark Cannon a lot. If you control no monsters in the main monster zones, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. Or if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your field instead, except it cannot attack, which is totally fine. You're probably going to use it to go into extra deck play or something like that anyway. I'm playing double Afterburners. Afterburners, I actually cut. I was running at 3 and I cut it to 2. If you want to play at 3, that's totally fine. But if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, or if you're seeing a trend yet, you target one face-up monster on the field, destroy it. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can destroy one spell and trap card on the field. It's basically be able to pop a monster and then a back row as well. That's a really, really good effect. And like I said, if you want to max that out and run that at 3, that's totally fine. I'm running a double Sky Striker Area 0. Now this one does a lot. It's the fill spell for this deck. If you can target one other card you control, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you add one excavated Sky Striker card from your deck. Also shuffle the rest into the deck. Then if you excavate a Sky Striker card, send the targeted card to the graveyard. If this card is in the field zone, is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your deck. You'll use each effect of Sky Striker Area 0 once per turn. Yeah, it looks so good. I kind of wish it was a secret rare, but that super rare still looks really good. Next up, playing one multi-roll. Of course, this card is just absolutely freaking crazy. Once per turn, you can target one other card you control, send that card to the graveyard. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to your spell card's activations for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. That's freaking crazy. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can set Sky Striker spells with different names from your graveyard up to the number of Sky Striker spell cards you activated this turn while this card was face-up on your field, but banish them when they leave the field. Also running one Hornet Drones, a quick play spell, really great card. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, special summon one Sky Striker Ace token. It's a Warrior Dark, level 1 attack and defense 0, in defense position, which cannot be attributed, and if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, once effect resolves, the token's attack and defense become 1500 instead. I'm running one Eagle Booster. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one face-up monster on the field, that target is unaffected by card effects this turn, which is freaking crazy, except its own. And if you have 3 more spells in your graveyard, it cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. So this thing gives it a ton of protection, because a lot of times, most of the times you're going to have 3 more spells in your graveyard anyway, so you're going to get both effects of all of these cards for the most part. And also running one Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves. So Jamming Waves is really good. I like this card a lot. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one set spell and trap card on the field, destroy it. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can destroy one monster on the field, which is just great. Popping your opponent's cards is always fun to do. Not for them, but we're not here for their fun, we're here for our fun. So moving away from the Sky Striker stuff, you still have a lot of room for more generic spells and like traps and stuff like that. So what I'm going with is I'm running double Forbidden Droplet, because like I say this all the time, I pulled 2 of these, I don't have a playset, but Forbidden Droplet is just a crazy powerful card, and if you don't have this, that's totally fine. You absolutely don't have to play this, but if you do, this is a really good card to tech into this deck. I'm also running one Terraforming to help find our field spell a little bit more, one Cosmic Cyclone, one Harpy's Feather Duster, one Raigeki, and one Monster Reborn as well. These 3 really powerful cards. And then lastly, just running triple Imperm. If you don't have Imperm, I know it's still a little bit expensive. You don't have to have this. You can still run maybe some Effect Veilers if you want to do that. Maybe run some Ghost Ogres, or you could even run some Forbidden Chalice if you wanted to do that. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. Let's move into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, of course, running triple Sky Striker Ace Kagari. Kagari is just absolutely phenomenal. It's my favorite one of all of them. If this card is special summon, you can target one Sky Striker spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand, and it gains 100 attack. For each spell in your graveyard, you can only use special summon one Sky Striker Kagaris once per turn. This actually get pretty beefy because you can have a ton of spells in your graveyard at a certain point. So 100 doesn't seem like a ton on surface level, but that can really add up. Next up, plain triple, well double technically, but I'm saying triple. Shizuku, I don't know where my third one is. Don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. I know y'all judge me because I lose my stuff. Don't judge me. Stop it. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each spell in your graveyard once per turn. Again, that can really add up. Once per turn during the end phase of this card with special summon this turn, you can add one Sky Striker spell from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. You can only special summon one Shizuku's once per turn. And then again, plain double, technically double, but triple, Hayate. I really like this one. You can special summon Hayates once per turn. If this card can attack directly after damage calculation. If this card battle, you can send one Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. Which straight off, the Foolish Burial is great. The fact that it's any Sky Striker card doesn't just have to be a monster or spell. But then, I mean, 1500 straight to the face is nothing to laugh at. That's a good little chunk out of your opponent's life points. So just a straight attack directly, and then a Foolish Burial. That's really good. Or Foolish Burial goods, technically. I'm playing one Kana. I like Kana. If this card is special summon, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls that cannot attack to the end of your opponent's turn, which can be a while, you know. Each time you activate a Sky Striker spell card or its effect, gain 100 life points immediately after the card or effect resolves, which again, doesn't seem a lot like on surface level, but that can add up. And then running one Zeke as well. Zeke's awesome. It must be link summon. You can only special summon one Sky Striker Zeke's per turn. If this card is link summon, you can target one face-up monster on the field and banish it to your opponent's next end phase. Now that can be a game changer right there. Like, Steve has beat me so many times with that. Just getting rid of like something that I absolutely need, and it's gone for a while. Your opponent's next end phase. That can be a while. Once per turn, you can target one other card you control. This card gains 1000 attack, then send the targeted card to the graveyard. And then lastly, just a few generic things. I'm running one IP Masquerena, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Unicorn, and then lastly, one Access Code. Like I always say, you can swap this out for Avermax, Apollosa, Boral Sword, anything like that. You don't have to have an access code, but it does help. So that's actually it for the deck profile, guys. I really do hope you enjoy this one. Sky Striker's kind of like a more fast-paced deck, but just the fact that I like the mechanic of it because there's only a few main deck monster core, basically, but the fact that you can just swap out for any of these, like, and they all do some really cool things, it's just awesome. I really like the whole mechanic of you have really good effects with the spells, and then they have even better effects if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, which they're going to for the most part. Kind of like a Witchcrafter type vibe to it a little bit. But yeah, guys, I definitely recommend you pick up Sky Strikers if you haven't done so already, or you know, if you hate them, I'm sorry, but let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what is like how do you feel about Sky Strikers? It's kind of pretty controversial for the most part. Most people hate them, some people like them, but how do you feel about them? But thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It allows my stuff to circulate around YouTube. It makes me feel great. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Now's a perfect time to do so. And then hit the bell so you become a part of the notification team so you don't miss anything that goes on this channel. I've ordered a ton of stuff. All of the deck profiles are going to be coming very soon. I finally caught up and ordered everything I needed for like 20 deck profiles, so I'm super excited to get into this stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.